Okay, so everything is the same on here except I updated some stuff. So like now if you click on the Odyssey, unlike before, oops, I guess I didn't update it. I will update it today as soon as we get out of class. But you should be able to click on there and go straight into the Odyssey since that's what we're reading. And then everything else is the same. Your modules are here and your videos are here. Right now, it's got everything from last semester as well. I'm going to try to import the calendar in for this semester as well. It has January, but I will give you an update on that tomorrow because I just noticed that it only went through January. Let's go ahead and look at the module. So it looks a little bit longer than usual, and that's because there's some videos and stuff in there. So today you've got, well, let's go ahead and look at the week at a glance. Mhm. There was no school yesterday. And then today, our plan is my plan is to introduce the Odyssey resources and the class syllabus change, which is pretty simple. And then we're going to go ahead and start looking at Hero's Journey anchor videos. And then once I let you guys out, you're going to have two ed puzzle assignments. The reason I did ed puzzle today, just because I know that I have to talk a lot today. So I didn't want to overwhelm you. And then your reading log. And actually, let's go ahead and go back. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you. When you click on the Odyssey button, it will take you here. And we're not starting it this week, but we are doing some intro to it this week and next week. So if you wanted to come in here and get a look at this, you absolutely can. I'm going to keep on copying this into each module while we're doing the Odyssey. Um, these are the PDFs. You don't have to download them. Now Canvas is opening them um, up for you in a different page, which is pretty cool. You don't even have to click on the PDF link itself. You can literally just read it from here now. Give it just a second. And then this is the actual PDF from our textbook. And then it starts right here where it says Sing and Me Muse. And then part one is separated from part two. And we're going to be reading them separately and taking quizzes on them separately. And then at the end, doing them together. So that's why part one is like everything that happens before he gets home. And part two is what happens when Odysseus gets home, which is why they're separated like that. So again, it's right here, part one and part two. But if it helps you to have the audiobook, you can click here and it'll take you into the online interactive textbook. I personally don't really like it because you can't scroll down. But if audiobook is what will help you, then these are the links for you guys. And I'll show you more of it when we start reading, actually getting into the Odyssey. And then the next thing I wanted to show you is I did make a pretty simple change to the syllabus. I don't know why it's not doing it correctly. Hang on just a second. I'll show you in here. Okay, and everything else is the same except for this right here. And I changed my policy because we're just online right now, and this is what's been working best for us. So, um, in general, you have until 11:59 on the due date to submit an assignment without penalty. But I do understand that just things happen. So what I've done is I've changed it so that if I assign you something on Tuesday and it would normally be due on Tuesday, for example, your assignments today in Ed Puzzle, they technically would be due today. But what I've done in case something happens during the week is I've made everything that I assigned during that week not actually due until Friday of that week. So if something happens tomorrow and you can't get online, you don't have to freak out because you do have until Friday to complete it. But if it's something on Friday, like a quiz, you need to make sure you get on and take it. Because I'm only giving you till Friday at midnight. After that, you will be penalized 5% for every day that you're late. And I'm not doing that by hand. And what I mean is I've set up Canvas so that it automatically does it. And you'll see it like it'll mark you late and then it will remove points. So say like you earn say it's like 100-point project and you earn like 85. Even if you earn 85, Canvas will automatically deduct another 5 points every day that you're late. So if you earn 85, but then you're late a day, it'll take it down to 80. Um, with that said, the minimum score that you can earn on late work is 50%. So even if you turn it in late and it's like, I don't know, 3 months later, it's still worth turning it in because you'll still get credit. Um, All right, let's go ahead and go back over here to the module. Sorry about that. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to show you guys is that you do have a project coming up from the Odyssey. It's not due until February 12th, but I wanted to give you a chance to start looking at it. And I set it up a little bit differently just to kind of help you, and we will go over it more in depth. But I wanted you guys to be aware that it is due February 12th. Um, and start thinking about it. So here's the directions. Here are some resources I put together for you. And here's your planning slides, which are going to start becoming due in the next couple of weeks. But all of these things you can look at. So basically, what you're going to be doing is creating a theme park map um, based on the Odyssey. So let's go over it pretty quickly. So you're selected to create a theme park based on the events of the Odyssey, the challenges that Odysseus faced, and the characters in the story. Your job is to create an attractive and entertaining experience for your guests. So basically creating like a Disneyland or a Six Flags, but every ride and everything needs to be based on the Odyssey. So anything you name needs to make sense with what we read. Um, and you can be creative from there. So your directions are, let's go ahead and skip this. We can go back to it in a minute. All right, so the project itself has two components. One is you need to create a map of the theme park, like something you would hand to somebody as they're walking through the gates. And it needs to have a key on it. And then you need to create a brochure detailing that theme park information. And I've given you examples of both and how they should look. Your food, I'm sorry, your food. I was reading over here the Cyclops picture. Your map and your brochure has to include 5 rides, shows, or games, and then 3 merchandise booths or specialty food stands that represent character traits of any character from the Odyssey. Um, your park layout and your theme must be Greek or myth related, and the components can be done by hand or digitally or a combination of both. Um, so what I did on the sample is I actually went in and found some maps that I thought would work. It was kind of like the hardest part. I was thinking like, how do you start this? And so I did it. And I'll show you what I mean. So again, like I said earlier, the project is due on February 12th. And I'm just giving you a heads up that DF notices are due for me that day, meaning that if you do not turn in that project on time, you will have a fail on the DF notice, period. Um, I'm not saying if you need to turn it in late, you can't. I'm saying you can. Your points will be deducted for turning it in late. But no matter what, if you turn it in late, you're going to have a fail on the DF notice, um, just because of the timing of everything. Okay, so This and these are also included in your resource. And this is what I meant. So it was kind of hard for me personally to get started on building like a digital map without having some sort of template. So what I did is I went into the internet for you guys, and then I used like my Apple Pencil and just kind of like deleted what was in there other than like the base of the map. So you can build this however you want. So there's three different kinds, and you don't have to use these three maps. You can use whatever you want. So even I didn't use one of these three. I found a different one that I liked. Um, but my favorites were this one and this one. That doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. Look online, do a search, like what does a theme park map look like? A lot of like the ones that have a lot of theme park clip art look something like this. And so that's why I went ahead and I just deleted everything out of there and then left you a blank sort of base map to use. But this one was fun too because it already has like roads and stuff. And this one was really neat too. So you just kind of do with what you want. I just gave you these to give you like a head start, and that I prefer for you guys to do this digitally because it's going to look a lot better, and you can find lots of theme park stuff online. um so like if you notice like this one right here. So I built an Odyssey map for you guys just as a sample, and I named my theme park Poseidon's Punishment. Um, and that's because everything that I included in mine has to do with Poseidon or being near or around water, since he's the god of water. Um, and it would start here, Trick of the Trojans, just because that's something we're going to talk about. But then the rest of it, you see like Scylla is actually a water monster, Circe is on an island, and you'll understand this more as we're reading the Odyssey. But Charybdis is another water monster, Scylla's a water monster. The sirens are in the water, and they're considered sort of a monster too. And then there's another story about lotus eaters. And so that's why like mine says lotus eater lattes. And then you'll understand the Cyclops one later after we read it. But Cyclops is, or Cyclopes soldier squash soup stand is right here. And then you see like my map keys. So like if it's an attraction or a ride, it has this next to it. And if it's food or drinks where those are sold, then it has this next to it. But like take a look closer. We'll go over it again, but this is just a sample. And then when you have some time, go ahead and thumb through these resources. Um, Give it a second to pull up.
Are we able to do like a tavern or like a bar, like, or maybe even like somewhere where they sell like wine?
Yeah, go for
Okay.
it. Um, I don't know why this is taking so long to load. I'll just pull it up on my laptop. Yeah, I don't mind as long as it's not inappropriate. Like don't put anything having to do with like
No,
naked people or anything like that. That's not gonna work.
no, yeah, I would just put like, um, I don't know, maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
how to
mean,
say it, like just like a tavern or something.
yeah, I think that's totally fair, especially because even at Disneyland they have like sort of bars and taverns now in like the Star Wars part. So I think
Yeah.
that's fine. Um, okay. So here's the resources, and the link should work when you click on it. I don't know why Canvas is being slow, but this is all for you guys to go through and help you. So like here's a checklist of the things you need to have, just like I said a little bit ago. Um, 5 rides, shows or games, 3 pictures that represent merchandise or food booths or stands, and then you have to have 2 bathroom areas and a first aid center. And that's as simple as just putting it in your key and then putting that key, like that little bathroom icon that you choose, in a place that would make sense on your map. And then here's the blank maps that I made for you guys, or that I kind of cleared out for you guys, that you can use. Again, you don't have to use them, but it will make your life easier. Trust me. That was like the hardest part of the project. And then here's the sample I showed you that I created for you. And then here's a hand drawn one. This one isn't like the best thing ever. I would expect better from you guys, but it does have all of the components. And you see like this student name, there's like Neptune's Lagoon. Neptune wouldn't really go with the Odyssey because Neptune is sort of like another name for Poseidon. But if you choose to use a Roman name instead of a Greek name, you just have to be prepared to explain it. Okay. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, this is an example and they drew their stuff in, but I'm telling you, if you, and we'll do it one of these days, if you just go in and start Google searching, like roller coaster clip art, you're going to find stuff you can use. You don't have to like draw it in like this. You can just put it on the map, make your life a little easier. And then the second part of it is to create this brochure. And it's not like a regular brochure. What it is you're explaining what your rides are, basically. What your rides and um see how this one says the Lotus Cafe right here, and mine said Lotus lattes, Lotus Eater lattes. So I'd have to explain something here about how the Lotus Eater lattes kind of ties in. So like this sample says home of the world famous lotus flower that you can eat plain or topped on your burger, and for dessert our delicious looking lotus looking cookie. We promise the lotus flower won't cause you to stay forever like it did Odysseus's crew, but we do promise the trip to the Lotus Cafe will make you want to stay forever, and chill under the rice flower umbrellas. So kind of like a um mini kind of commercial for somebody to be like, oh yeah, that's where I want to go eat. Um, this person's a little bit confused on it. So when we read the Odyssey, we'll go over like why I included the lotus flower in mine. Um, and then like why pig stops would make sense and why Charybdis Cove would make sense. And then you see over here, they're explaining like their different rides. So Charybdis is Revenge, and they explain like how the ride goes. So you don't have to do that on the map itself right here. But when you, so like for me, mine is called Charybdis Circle. See how mine's sort of like shaped in a circle and these look crazy. Um, and then here's the ride going through the water. So I'd have to explain what Charybdis Circle is and say like journey into or journey inside the body of Charybdis, and then explain like why that makes sense. And then Scylla's revenge. So Scylla actually, I'm going to explain a little bit. She actually has 6 heads. And so the revenge has to do with only one head being left. And I'd have to explain that in my brochure, like why it's called that and how the ride would be. And then here's another one, another student named theirs Circe's Cove, which makes sense, but it would be more like sort of a chill place because Circe, well, when we read about her, you'll understand what I mean by that. But this one they describe like what the park description is and what the rides and games are, and then the list of the attractions and what kind of food you can buy, that kind of stuff. So you just have to kind of explain out whatever it is that you put on your theme park map. But you have plenty of time. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that that is going to be coming up due February 12th. So let's go ahead and go back to the module, and then everything for us starts right here. So the first thing we're going to look at today is the hero's journey. So let's go ahead and look at these anchor videos. And they're the same videos that you're going to be using in your ed puzzle. It's just that when you use that, when you watch the ed puzzle, it'll be stopping you because you need to take you need to answer some questions. And then please, please, please be aware that there are questions in next week's quiz that have to do with these videos. It's not just what we go over in our notes this week. So make sure that you really do pay attention to this stuff. A lot of it is part of your notes anyway, but I just want to make sure that you understand that if you happen to be taking the quiz and you guys know you can take it more than once and you miss something, it's probably because it's in these videos. So let me go ahead and optimize sound. Hang on just a second.
What do Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo all have in common with the heroes of ancient myths? What if I told you they are all variants of the same hero? Do you believe that? Joseph Campbell did. He studied myths from all over the world and published a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, retelling dozens of stories and explaining how each represents the monomyth, or hero's journey. So, what is the hero's journey? Think of it as a cycle. The journey begins and ends in the hero's ordinary world, but the quest passes through an unfamiliar, special world. Along the way, there are some key events. Think about your favorite book or movie. Does it follow this pattern? Status quo, that's where we start. 1 o'clock, call to adventure. The hero receives a mysterious message, an invitation, a challenge. 2 o'clock, assistance. The hero needs some help, probably from someone older, wiser. 3 o'clock, departure. The hero crosses the threshold from his normal, safe home and enters the special world and adventure. We're not in Kansas anymore. 4 o'clock, trials. Being a hero is hard work. Our hero solves a riddle, slays a monster, escapes from a trap. 5 o'clock, approach. It's time to face the biggest ordeal, the hero's worst fear. 6 o'clock, crisis. This is the hero's darkest hour. He faces death and possibly even dies, only to be reborn. 7 o'clock, treasure. As a result, the hero claims some treasure, special recognition, or power. 8 o'clock, result. This can vary between stories. Do the monsters bow down before the hero, or do they chase him as he flees from the special world? 9 o'clock, return. After all that adventure, the hero returns to his ordinary world. 10 o'clock, new life. This quest has changed the hero. He has outgrown his old life. 11 o'clock, resolution. All the tangled plot lines get straightened out. 12 o'clock, status quo, but upgraded to a new level. Nothing is quite the same once you're a hero. Many popular books and movies follow this ancient formula pretty closely, but let's see how well The Hunger Games fits the hero's journey template. When does Katniss Everdeen hear a call to adventure that gets the story moving? When her sister's name is called from the lottery. How about assistance? Is anyone going to help her on her adventure? Hey, Mitch. What about departure? Does she leave her ordinary world? She gets on a train to the capital. Okay, so you get the idea. What do you have in common with Harry Potter, Katniss Everdeen, and Frodo? Well, you're human, just like them. The hero's journey myth exists in all human cultures and keeps getting updated because we humans reflect on our world through symbolic stories of our own lives. You leave your comfort zone, have an experience that transforms you, and then you recover and do it again. You don't literally slay dragons or fight Voldemort, but you face problems just as scary. Joseph Campbell said, "In the cave you fear to enter lies the treasure you seek." What is the symbolic cave you fear to enter? Auditions for the school play? Baseball tryouts? Love? Watch for this formula in books, movies, and TV shows you come across. You will certainly see it again, but also be sensitive to it in your own life. Listen for your call to adventure. Accept the challenge. Conquer your fear and claim the treasure you seek. And then do it all over again.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at the second one. And remember, you do have ed puzzles for both. And this one's more hero's journey.
Oh, what happened to you, Adam Sandler? You used to be such a lovable idiot. Now he is just idiot.
Well, that's because Adam Sandler doesn't follow the monomyth no more.
What?
The monomyth. It's also known as the hero's journey. It's why Happy Gilmore was a great movie, but Jack and Jill was not. The hero's journey is a theory by a guy named Joseph Campbell. One one of the ideas behind it is that all great stories include the same characters.
There is no way that works for Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, it does. You can find all 7 of these character types in Happy Gilmore.
I don't get this. This is way too complicated.
No, it's not. You know all these characters. There's a version of each of them in every great story you've ever seen or read. Every story has a hero. They're usually just your average Joe in the beginning, because the audience has to relate to them.
You're making this up.
No, think about it. All great stories have heroes. They start small, with problems to overcome, and then they gain the wisdom and power to solve their conflicts.
Sounds like you're talking about Luke Skywalker.
Exactly! He's a great example of the hero. We should act that out.
Look at me, stuck on this crappy planet, and Uncle got burned up like chicken cutlets. What are you gonna do? Me, personally, I'm gonna save the galaxy and make out with my sister.
The second archetype character is the Herald.
And Kumar.
What? No, the Herald changes the course of the story, often starting the hero on their adventure.
What, some weird guy says, stop what you're doing and go have adventure?
Sometimes, but it doesn't have to be a person. It could be an object or an event.
My life sucks. I don't fit in. Wish I could leave and go to school. Whoa. Hey, Harry Potter, how you doing? I'm a talking picture like out of them Harry Potter stories. Listen, go to wizard school. They got a dinner buffet that you would not believe. Don't mind if I do.
Okay, the mentor is awesome. It's a wise presence that guides the hero and gives him advice.
Like Gandalf!
Yeah, just like Gandalf from The Hobbit.
But didn't Gandalf say, hey Hobbit, go have adventure? Doesn't that make him the Herald?
Well, sometimes a character can play more than one role.
Yeah, Mr. Gandalf, can't you do something about this deluge?
It's raining, dummy. You want to stop the rain? Why don't you get yourself another wizard?
Are there any?
Why?
Other wizards?
Yeah, there's a couple, you know. I'm Gandalf the Grey, there's Radagast the Brown, and you got Saruman the White.
Is he a great wizard, or is he...
Yeah, between you and me, he's a real piece of shit.
Threshold Guardians? They sound terrifying!
Nah, they're here to stop the hero from progressing on his journey until he proves his worth. Think of them as henchmen.
Hey, Indiana Jones, we are Nazis, and we're here to stop you from doing what you gotta do. Nazis? Friggin' Nazis? You kidding me? Boom. Done. That'll learn you to stop being such pieces of crap.
You find these guys everywhere. The trickster's role in the story is to create mischief. They provide comic relief, and sometimes they're sidekicks.
Ugh! I'm going to make sandwich! Ugh!
No brains. You saying I got no brains? And you want me to do a wacky dance for yous? Hey, yo, not for nothing. You got any gold bomb powder? I am chafing over here.
Oh, well, the shapeshifter, like the werewolf?
Well, it's more about a character changing their role in the story. A good guy can become a bad guy, a trickster can become a mentor, you know, that sort of thing.
Can they change more than once?
Sometimes they change a lot.
Hey, what's up? I'm gonna stab you. Now wait, I'll help you save your girlfriend. Now wait, look at my funny hand wiggle. I'm so wacky right now. Now wait, I'm gonna go into the moonlight and turn into a skeleton. Boom.
The Shadow's the main enemy the hero has to defeat. He's the ultimate evil character. Everything the hero's learned, trained for, and overcome has led up to the Shadow's defeat.
Yo, you stole my girlfriend, you learn wax on, wax off, you even stood up to my Cobra Kai boys. But I'm Johnny D over here, gonna break your face right now.
Johnny, that's great, but remember, you're the bad guy. You gotta lose.
I gotta lose to Ralph Macchio? What, are you kidding me?
That is kind of the best. Does it always work?
Well, the monolith is just a theory, but you'd be amazed at how often the hero's journey is correct.
And it really works for Happy Gilmore?
Oh yeah.
My name is Happy Gilmore.
My grandfather built this house with his bare hands. If he can't get the money together in 90 days, we're gonna have to sell the house to someone else.
All you gotta do is just tap it in. Just tap it in.
I don't date golfers. You know that bedroom at the top of the stairs?
Yeah, that was my room.
I think I'm turning that into my trophy room.
This guy's a real piece of
Okay. So as you can see, there's the journey itself
Perfect.
that we talked about here, and then the different types of archetypal characters. So if you click on to the next part of the module, you'll see that you have an ed puzzle for the what makes a hero one. And then you also have one for uh, the different types of characters. It's the glove and boots one. So you need to do both of these. And then just like last semester, make sure that you take a screenshot of your results and submit it in order to get credit. You need to watch the video all the way to the end sometimes just to get your results. And then remember what I told you guys, there's going to be questions about these on your quiz, definitely about like these archetypal characters and the parts of the hero's journey. So all you got to do is go back and just rewatch it and take your own notes. We're going to be talking about the hero's journey, but I just want to make sure that I emphasize that you guys know that those are going to be on your quiz on Friday. Okay, so you just have to do your two ed puzzles, and then I would highly suggest that you go through and start looking more at the project, maybe getting an idea of what you want your theme to be, do a little bit of research on the Odyssey, or you guys all had an assigned character at the end of last semester, and you can totally use that information that you know and build your theme park around that character if you want, just because a lot of you guys know a lot about the characters that you chose already. So maybe naming your whole theme park after that monster or god is a really good idea because you've got so much information on them already. Um, okay, before I let you guys go, does anybody have any questions or anything that I can help you with?